had survived, but the consequences were only just beginning. Would she ever walk again? Would she ever return to the water? And what would SeaWorld do next? Because in the aftermath of the attack, the questions would only get darker. Tamarie Tollison was rushed from SeaWorld San Diego to a nearby hospital with multiple traumatic injuries. A compound fracture in her forearm, torn ligaments, deep bruising, and lacerations from the orca's jaws. She had survived, but she was in no condition to speak. Inside the emergency room, doctors worked to stabilize her. Pins were inserted to set the bone. The medical team fought to preserve full use of her arm. Her foot was bandaged. She was sedated in pain and drifting in and out of consciousness. But while Tamarie lay in a hospital bed, another battle was already unfolding, one she would have no control over. Inside SeaWorld's management offices, the conversation shifted from "what happened?" to "what do we say?" According to public reports, internal meetings quickly focused on damage control. The language used to describe the incident became critical. Was this an animal aggression incident? Or was it, as some executives quietly suggested, a trainer positioning error? It was a familiar tactic, one used in previous incidents at marine parks around the country. Shift blame, minimize the optics, protect the brand. Because in a facility that prided itself on the harmony between human and whale, an attack like this could be catastrophic, both for public relations and regulatory oversight. Official statements were carefully worded. The public was told the trainer suffered an injury during a routine training session. No mention of being dragged underwater, no acknowledgement that 2 whales were involved, and certainly no word on the emergency recall signal that saved her life. Behind the polished smiles and tightly controlled press releases, the truth was being scrubbed clean. But why? Was this about Tamarie's safety or the park's image? And if it had happened before, how many other incidents never made it to the public? Because while Tamarie was still recovering, SeaWorld was already moving to bury the story. But the warning signs? They had been there all along. As the days passed after the attack, Tamarie Tollison remained in recovery. Her injuries serious, her future uncertain. But outside the hospital, a very different picture was forming, because whispers began to surface. This wasn't the first time Orchid had shown aggression toward trainers. Records later revealed that Orchid, the female orca born at SeaWorld in 1988, had a troubling track record. In 1996, she grabbed a trainer by the ponytail, dragging them into the water. There were no major injuries that time, but the message was clear. She was strong, dominant, and not always compliant. And that wasn't